And hello everybody, welcome on back to another episode of Assassin's Creed 3. I still keep wanting to say Revelations every time. I'm like, nah, I can't put the disrespect on that name. Which, honestly isn't also fair of me to say, because I was like, this game's really not that bad. I said, it feels like something's missing, but like when something's missing, you can't put your finger on it. Kind of like how you just go from day to day wondering, like, what's wrong with me? You wonder, like, something's got to be off. And you spend all those years thinking it could be this, it could be that. And then you figure out, oh, I'm depressed. Sometimes you just need medication. Sometimes it's just brain chemistry. But sometimes there's that little thing pulling at the back of you that you really just don't know what you're missing until you get it. Like I said, I've got a couple of things that I think would make this experience more enjoyable overall, but it is what it is. I've been having fun, at least a little bit, and shit, it's not like I'm putting out any games or anything, so sometimes I'm like, who am I to judge? Even though I have put out a game back when I was in college, so. But I was like, it was just a small project that I worked on, and not like one of my end goals. Lose you now. The real question is, how much of here can we really climb?
Let's see if our man can fly.
Oh. That's not good.
What in God's name is going on around here?
Oh. Well, I hate not being able to understand what I can or can't climb. Oh, but I bet you I can go do this, and then if we jump up here. Yeah, look at us. Figuring stuff out. Can I get that's my my gamer in the chat. Hey.
Me!
Oh. Just instantly like, you know what, cool. Ow. Oh, you won't let me counter you? Okay. Did I kill him because I threw him into the fire? Hey, buddy. You seem like you're having a bad time. But don't worry, just keep hanging in there. It'll all pay off for you. Michael Diaz would accidentally drop him as I'm trying to pull him back.
Are you all right?
I think so. Didn't do much to me aside from a good scare. Blackguards.
What did they want with you?
My purse, which was meager, and they decided to punish me for their trouble.
Man, they robbed him and then we're like, this isn't even good enough.
Silly, really. My tools and equipment were worth a king's share to the right man. In any case, I had best get on my way. It's a long walk to the nearest inn. I thank you again for your kindness.
Have you no home?
Oh, well, I was a proud resident of Boston until recently, but I'm not a supporter of His Majesty, and, well, I was forced out of my woodshop and home by loyalists.
There are plenty around here who could use the services of a skilled craftsman, if you were looking for somewhere to settle.
Is that right? I may look into that.
Calling you Catan the way you're a settler? Bars. Really, you know what though? I was like, one of the best things rap always has going for it is having a hype man. Cause like, sometimes you need someone to +2 your jokes or your hot lines. I almost said hot goss and I was like, that's not it. Uh, See, I was like, this is a fun way to unwind always, just because I was like, sometimes you just want to vibe and tell some dumb jokes and relax, you know? So it's like, if you happen to watch this at all and you're doing the same thing, great. It's funny because I read, I read a thing on Reddit, and I was like, it's interesting to like look at different subreddits and whatnot, and like just kind of get a general vibe for how some people can really be. Oh. But so there's one for like, you know, new YouTubers and whatnot, and I was like, I like reading it just because I'm always interested in seeing like what people have to say about things. But it's like everyone has so many opinions and stuff like that, and it's like, truthfully, I do think there's stuff you can do to be successful, especially on YouTube, Twitch, stuff like that. But I think there's also a huge portion of stuff that it's like, there's no real answer because anything can work for anyone. But so much of this stuff is just luck. And like, that's okay. I think that is, you know, totally fine to just understand. I was like, because if I really wanted to like min-max the way that I was, you know, growing this channel and doing stuff, like, I would sit down, I would look at popular games, I would play the new stuff, and I would do like actual editing and put more like cohesive stuff together, keep the dialogue like quick, snappy, keep interesting bits. Honestly, if I really wanted to like go hard into it, especially since I don't really stream or anything because I don't have a good schedule for it, like, literally what I would do is I would go through and I would build out my general script and whatnot, figure out, and then honestly I would come up with bits, like just come up with some fun bits and try to like relay them through things. And then that way, you know, and I'm playing this and I come up with some dumb little like pun or something along those lines, and it's like I either flub it as I'm trying to say whatever. There'd be none of that. It would just be me saying something, trying to, you know, trying to have fun with it and going at like above and beyond for it.
And we'll find out what it was he held so dear. I met him once. He was 7 feet tall if he was an inch. I tell you, legs like tree trunks and a smithy's arms. Almost broke my hand shaking it'll know. I could feel it then when I met him. No weapon made by man could harm him.
Ah, goals. Weapons can't harm me, but words can. But yeah, I was like I said, if I wanted to, I would go above and beyond. I was like, I've got some ideas for video essays and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, I mean, I'm a fucking nerd, you know? I like a lot of the stuff. I like being able to lean into it and write and share my perspective with the world, even if it's not always important, but it's important to me, because it's like, I think I can eloquently spot, I guess eloquently, like, describe things if I actually put the effort into it.
Go away!
Said go away, boy! Do you not speak the king's English?
Actually, I brought a
didn't see you
friend.
there, old man. I'd have set my home in order if I'd known you'd be calling.
The boy's name
Would
is
you?
Connor. He's here to restore the property.
Restore? Restore? Pardon my manners. She's still the fastest in the Atlantic. Sure, she needs some attention. Minor things mostly, but with a little affection, she'll fly again.
Who is she?
She's just like me,
Who
for
is
real.
she? Why, the Aquila boy, the ghost of the North Seas.
The boat.
A boat? She's a ship boy, and make no mistake about it. I thought you brought him here to restore order. I reckon he's the greenest thing on the frontier.
Connor, meet me back at the manor when you've finished here.
You said it requires repairs. You able?
She does need work. A ship is a she, boy. And yes, I can refit her, but I'm lacking in the proper supplies. Some quality timber would help me get started.
I can see to that.
Quick, somebody call
How long
Pitbull.
before she is able to sail again?
Just get me the lumber, boy. I'll raise a crew.
Just immediately like, yeah, but I'm gonna take a seat first, you know? Alright, Achilles. I love a nice ship, you know? It's funny, growing up, you know, I used to go to the Outer Banks in North Carolina, and they've got, so you've got the ocean and the beach and everything like that, but then you've also got the Sound, which is nearby. And I remember as a kid being able to go on like a nice, like old style ship like that, like an old style like sailboat that there's pictures of me somewhere as a kid, like actually standing behind the captain's wheel. I almost said pilot's wheel. I was like, that's not it. But yeah, it's like something about just being on the water like that is nice. It's nice and easy, and
There you are. I've something to show you. Come, take a look.
have
What
a
is it?
look. It's in a book.
A ledger. It lets us manage the homestead's dealings.
And these?
That was years ago. Before the slow fever, before the Templars, before everything collapsed. But that's all in the past. Better we focus on what's in front of us. Take up the ledger, and I'll teach you how it all works.
Okay. Stockpile allows you to purchase items from homesteads and display the items you currently own. So, available for purchase. So we want to buy the max amount. Your stockpile now contains lumber, but they're out of it, so we can leave the stockpile. Go to the trading menu. Enter the trading menu. Collects me sold to merchant through convoys. Okay. Gonna sell. Each merchant and location has its advantages and disadvantages regarding time, risk, tax, and value of product. Choose wisely. Okay, and then we send them, and then takes 12 minutes to make 65 pounds. Tough. It's like sometimes I wish it were that easy to make money in real life. Be like, ah, just wait like 12 minutes. Easy, just get a direct deposit.
Time passed quickly after that. My days a blur of study, training, and work. What little free time Achilles allowed me was spent learning about the Templars, about Charles Lee and my father. I longed to confront them, to put an end to their schemes, to ensure my people would remain untroubled and free. But I knew it was too soon. That to approach them now would see me killed. All my work would be for nothing. Patience, restraint. These proved the most difficult subjects for me. But in time I mastered them as well. Days became months, months became years. And as my skills and knowledge grew, so too did I.
God, if that isn't something that, you know, a lot of us could learn, though, is just better patience. Find a way to be able to figure out how to take things a day at a time rather than just wishing we were there. There's one thing from playing the Assassin's Creed games, it's just that there's always a lot of, like, there's a lot of lessons to learn. And I think that's one of the biggest strengths of, like, historical fiction like this, you know? Like, you always have an opportunity to pick up from stuff and be like, yeah, even though all this, you know, made up fantasy stuff that's added in, like, there's still real stories here that are easy to relate to, and I was like, that I think also is what makes for a good narrative. It's my way or the hard way. Ooh, Martha's Vineyard. Is this George
Come aboard
Washington's
and
Martha?
feast your eyes, boy.
Or Bruce Wayne's?
No, not the left foot. Never the left foot. Horrible look. Step with your right foot first.
Never have heard of that.
She is solid?
Aye. Weatherly and sleek. She'll fetch 12 knots in a stiff gale, near a ship from here to Singapore can outrun her on her best day. What do you say we take her out and show you what she can do firsthand?
Where would we go?
As it happens, she still needs guns and the officers to command them. We'll launch straight away. Don't worry, lad. I'll make sure you sprout good sea legs.
There's a joke in
All
there
in the
about
mainsail! Get up the rigging!
she's
Hand
like
over
me, I
fist.
also
Come on,
fetch
men.
12
Let's
knots
get
on
her
a
out
stiff
where
gale.
she needs to be.
Land convoy to Boston. Oh, that sucks. 6 months passed, but it hasn't been 12 minutes. You tell
Come
me
on,
how that
lad,
works.
No time like the present.
Ooh, 1773.
Double time, boy. It's time you learned. Take the helm.
Let's go.
Come on. She won't bite.
Wish you would. Make this boat ride a lot more
You're
exciting now, wouldn't
connected
it?
to her now. Listen and feel.
Half sail!
Ah! The killer flies again. Do you feel it, lad? Set a course for Martha's Vineyard. We'll find our guns and officers there. She's a nimble vessel, but the faster she goes, the more cumbersome she grows. And the firmer your hand needs to be. Enjoy this stretch of open water before we come upon those shallows. Call for full sail if you like.
Man, this university, that university is this old? They had Full Sail University back in the day? I'm guessing the green area
Wind
is
looks to be
that
shifting.
wind direction?
Stay alert,
Yeah.
Connor. Gusty winds can be difficult to manage.
Yeah, look at that. Call me Jack Sparrow the way I captain this boat.
Now, take us through these shallows. Careful not to run up on them. The sandbars will slow us down, but the rocks will put a hole through a hole. And if you want to make a quick tack, call for half sail. She's more maneuverable then.
I can do that. I know how to be patient. It's like now we're just gonna hope that the game doesn't mess with me and make me immediately just like shift over to the left at the last second and into rocks.
Mind those other vessels. Hold your tack to keep your right of way.
Hold your tack as in like, you know, hold steady, or? Because like, 'cause tack's not a word that I have actually recalled hearing before. I was gonna say something and I realized it was like speaking with tact, but that's with a T, not a K. Do you ever think about stuff like that where you're like, wow, I know so many just like random words, but But sometimes even when you know so many words, you're just like, wow, there's just like random ones that you would think would be more common that just kind of escape you. Because I've definitely, like, especially in terms of poetry and like any sort of fiction, you know, influenced by like Greek mythology and whatnot.
Cottages. We're close.
It's so hard sometimes to like understand the verbiage and whatnot that's used, because you know a lot of words don't ever come up in day-to-day conversation, but then you hear something and like, I've heard it but I don't know what it is, and then you try to pick it out in context. It's always a thing.
Drop anchor.
Oh, we did it.
We'll go ashore, buy our guns, and find our officers.
Oh, hello, Miss Mandy. You're looking every bit as ravishing as I remember.
After all these years, you sail all the way to the vineyard to pay me compliments?
We are looking for David and Richard Clutterbuck.
Nice to see you, too.
Mr. Clutterbuck.
Robert Faulkner. Where the hell you been?
Sorry for leaving like I did, lads, but where I was going, no one could know. You two working much?
No. Between contracts at the moment.
Well, we're looking for gunnery officers. What would you two say to working with me again?
We'd be for getting into a few more scraps.
Good show.
What are homies for, you know?
Tequila is a fine vessel. We're fitting all the guns as we speak.
Looks like your friend's about to catch a beating.
Where is Charles Lee?
I don't much care for your tone, boy.
Hey, you don't want to be doing that, Biddle.
Bobby Faulkner turned to wet nursing. It's good you finally realize you're a shite sailor.
Whoa, 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 not in here, gentlemen. Better still, not at all. Bobby, take your friends and get out!
Let's go, boys. Our guns ought to be ready. Come on.
Man, we just had a golden opportunity right there too. Would have instantly taken out 2 of our like 6 contracts. I've already forgotten the number of the squad. Call me Jesus the way I'm gonna take the wheel. Am I right? Nothing feels more just like peak awkward coded as saying something like that, and then
The older man is a Templar.
and then
Who
saying
was
it
he
all
with?
monotone as well.
Templar. The young buck was Nicholas Biddle. Nobody. Sails before the mast. Midshipman for the Crown.
Are the guns ready?
Aye, but we won't jump in over our heads. We'll find a suitable target and show you how they work. We've fitted her with a modest amount of guns to start, but rest assured there's ample room to add more should you feel the need.
We could always use more guns, I'm sure.
Looks like a British frigate with half seas over. Should do nicely for a spotted target practice. Bring around broadside, and when all guns are on target, call fire. Round shot for the start.
Okay.
Well done, boy. Now, aim all guns at her bow and do as much damage as possible.
Okay.
Some old powder in there. Good. Now give the swivel guns a turn. More precise. Hit those old powder barrels and light up the sky.
Okay.
Never gets old!
Not bad for a spud, Captain.
You are a fast learner.
Provided something interests me.
Ah, getting a taste for the open sea, are we? We'll make a jack tar out of you yet. Now we should be getting back. The old man is like to have my hide for keeping you out so long.
It's fine. It is cool though just to have like a little crew kind of work with you know? Ah.
Why is he shooting at us? Destroying property of the crown, disturbing the king's peace, take your pick.
What do we do?
Naught else but to fight back. Sink the bastard.
Use the swivels on him, Captain.
Losers. Yeah. What are you gonna do about that,
English
huh?
frigate!
Oh, well.
I'll be betwattled, another one.
Another
Where in
one.
the bloody hell did she come from?
There we go. Now. Let's go. Now, seems like you guys are having a bad time. There we go. We may be half health, but they're the ones who were dying today.
Not bad for your first voyage, eh, boy? Now we best be getting back, or the old man'll have my guts for garters.
Old sayings are always so fun. But it's like, now I need to see the gut garter fit, you know? It's a, some sort of like body horror goth outfit at this point.
I got 'em! All of 'em! You get what I need, and I'll give 'em to you. Simple. You got a ship. Could find 'em all to boot.
Who is that man?
Him? Some old salt always on about letters he's got from Captain Kidd. Nonsense, really, but he doesn't hurt no one, so I'll leave him be. Talk to him if you fancy, but be warned he'll chew your ear off. Anyway, the Aquila's here for you. If you should get a pang for the open sea, we'll be waiting. Now, I implore you to head up the hill before the old man comes out of retirement just for me.
You were really scared of Achilles, huh?
2 weeks. And not even a goodbye before you left.
Sorry.
Well, what are you waiting for? Put them on.
Let's go. We have proven ourselves worthy.
Once upon a time, we had a ceremony on such occasions. But I don't think either of us are really the type for that. You've your tools and training, your targets and goals. And now you have your title. Welcome to the Brotherhood, Connor.
Let's go. You know, we're making some big splashes. Oh.
Welcome back, Desmond. You'll be happy to hear there's actually good news for once.
What? Really?
Yeah. I've managed to locate a power source, and it's relatively close by. Up for a trip to Manhattan?
Is it safe to leave? Abstergo's gotta be looking for us.
Obviously, it's not safe. Can't exactly sit around here hoping to get lucky, though, can we? We need that power source. Besides, I'm sure you can cook up some way to hide our movements.
Maybe. The Templars have access to all kinds of satellites and camera systems. We'll need to find a way to mask our digital signature. I can probably camouflage the van, too. But there's not much I can do for us.
That's an easy one.
God.
Local utility companies have assured the public that they're completely prepared for the upcoming solar maximum. Disruptions to service are expected to be minimal.
If only they knew.
What's this?
A remote-operated camera.
It's a
It'll
fidget
provide us
spinner,
with
what
a
do you
feed
mean?
while you're on mission. This will let us talk to each other.
We're almost there, so listen up. The artifact is in an office penthouse in Lower Manhattan. At this time of night, direct infiltration is going to get you noticed. I think we're better off having you drop in from above.
What do you mean above?
Yeah, I'm gonna parachute?
Can you hear me? Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, read you just fine. Now why don't you power up the camera?
All of a sudden giving me very like Watch Dogs vibes.
I've got pictures. Running diagnostics. Perfect. I've got a nice strong signal.
Ooh. Welcome to the new age. To the new age. I also think it's fun too, because you think about it and it's like, you know, the assassins, at least like in Ezio's time, their standard thing was the white cloak. And it's like really interesting just to see it boiled down to a hoodie for modern days. But hey, it was like, you know, an assassin could be any one of us. I need more like of this kind of parkour through modern buildings, you know? Do we have any of that in anything? I guess other than these segments? It's like, I would absolutely love that. Like if we got a modern day Assassin's Creed game. Ooh.
Seriously, Sean? Fuck you.
Yeah, I would have fallen to my death right there. And here. And here. Yeah, nope. No way, bucko. Which I guess at the very least if you fell, you had a parachute, but they're not really meant for this low altitude, I believe. Because isn't that one of the things that it's actually like pretty dangerous to do like base jumping like this? Just because those like parachutes normally aren't rated for Well, I guess they also make like special parachutes for this type of task, but God, just the sheer amount of grip strength, though.
No security to worry about.
And on the not so bright side, the slightest misstep means you're effectively paced.
Shut up, Sean.
Thank you. Ever the optimist, my friend Sean. At least Mr. Hastings is not too hasty, am I right? You ever play something like this though, and like any Assassin's Creed game, and just make you, like, ever make you just kind of want to, I don't know, like take up free running, go real like parkour vibes, and
There,
just see what you can
Once
do.
you reach the top of the lit up crane, you should be high enough to make the jump.
Should?
It'll be fine, don't worry.
You might want to worry a little. I'm pretty sure she was high when she was running the numbers.
Sean!
A joke. It was a joke. Or was it?
My girl. It's so funny because it's like sometimes like, because a lot of people in my life have always expected me to be like a big weed smoker or something like that. And it's like, it's never been my thing. I was like, I already have enough high thoughts.
Jump when you're ready, but wait for my signal to open the chute. Timing's really important here. Too soon or too late, and you'll miss the building.
Alright, sure thing. Alright, Desmond. It's now or never. You're Batman posing. You have the world's entire safety on the line. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do this.
Now! Open your chute, now! Desmond! Come on, you're running out of time!
Dang it.
Just a heads up, there's no elevator access from here on out. You'll have to get up there the old-fashioned way.
That's so funny. But I just... Yeah, could you imagine though if there was like a report that there was like, hey...
Open your chute, now!
Oh. Walking on water. Hacker voice, I'm in. Alright, so I'm just gonna bet I'm gonna have to make an escape from here. Ah, the classic elbow breaking the glass trick.
That wasn't so bad. So, you must be Desmond. Not exactly what I expected, but I guess your kind doesn't have many options these days.
Who are you?
Ask your father. Now give me that.
I don't think so.
Look, I'm not supposed to kill you, but the boss man didn't say anything about fucking you up. So you've got to the count of...
Fucking punk.
So who the hell is Daniel Cross?
Believe it or not, he used to be an assassin.
Until he
assassin,
crossed
well, I've heard
us.
it told, but it turned out he was a sleeper agent for Abstergo, programmed to infiltrate and destroy the organization.
How did he know you were there? We could be compromised.
They must have caught me snooping inside their network and sent Cross to see what we were after. If they were aware of our current location, we'd know. Though, I will say this. Doesn't bode very well for future expeditions.
I've set up some cameras topside. If anyone shows up, we'll see it.
I'd suggest you go see about finding a socket for that power source. Or we can return to Connor if you prefer. All the artifacts in the world won't mean a thing without the key.
I know everyone thinks I'm being silly, but I can't shake the feeling we're being watched.
We are being watched. By Juno. Or some version of her.
Do you think it's a recording? Or is she a ghost? Or something else? Is she talking to us the way Minerva talked to Ezio?
No clue. I mean, who knows what else they were working on down here? There's still so many rooms we don't have access to.
But do you think she's like literally down here, waiting somewhere, still alive?
Still alive? That's mental. That means she'd be at least 75, 80,000 years old? Well, powerful, yeah, but not that powerful.
They came down here looking for a way to survive. Maybe they found one.
See, like, as like wild and contrived as this is, I still think it's extremely interesting though, you know?
Was it weird seeing Cross?
What do you mean?
It's different for you. You don't know about what happened, I guess. For a long time, he was important to us. He was a different person.
Sean said he was a sleeper agent, like Lucy.
It was different. She made a choice, but Cross, if you read the files, Abstergo just... They did terrible things to him.
Rebecca?
You're lucky. We all are. We have people who care about us, who look out for us. He was all alone, and the people he thought he could trust, they used him.
Did you know him?
No, but I knew Hannah.
Who's that?
She tried to help him. She trusted him. But there was a raid about a year ago. She stayed behind so the others could escape. Tried to reason with him to see if she could fix things.
Well, what happened?
What do you think happened? He killed her. That's what he does. That's all he knows how to do. Sometimes it seems like that's all any of us know how to do.
Rebecca.
I know how to kill it with the ladies, am I right, Desmond? Ayo.
I just want to be alone right now.
Oh. Okay. Chat editor, just strike that from the record. Hey, Dad.
Son,
Hate you still, but...
I owe you an apology.
Oh.
I shouldn't
Strike
have
that from the
lashed out
record,
like
please.
that. You have to understand, I've never been very good at this. Never mind that we live rather extraordinary lives.
Yeah, I kinda liked my ordinary one.
You can't escape who you are, Desmond.
So I've noticed.
Look, it's silly for us to go back and forth like this. I admit, I did a shitty job raising you. I apologize, I'm sorry. But it's important you understand it didn't come from a bad place. You're my son. I love you. I guess I was so busy trying to make sure nothing bad happened, I didn't consider the consequences. Truce.
Damn, having to make a truce with your own son.
I can't believe it's taken me so long to ask, but... How's Mom? She's not...
No. Your mother is fine. We decided it was safer if we split up for this job.
Always assuming the worst.
For good reason.
Have you seen how crazy shit is out there?
I'm sorry, it's too risky. Maybe when we're done.
Right. When we're done.
I was like, what figure? Oh. Oh, there we go.
Have we ever tried to make peace with the Templars?
Throughout our history, there have been moments. Several, in fact. But it's impossible. There are existential differences, insurmountable. If there were to be unity, it wouldn't be a truce so much as a submission.
But knowing what's about to happen, wouldn't it make sense to try and talk to Vidic? Come to an arrangement, even if it's only temporary?
We'd all be so busy watching our backs, nothing would get accomplished. Imagine that. We're more productive at war.
But it's funny because we're still.
Well, have
looking
we
at
ever
our
tried sending in someone?
backs, you know?
Doing to them what they did to us with Lucy? Or Cross?
We have, and it's never worked. We've sent people who were either too weak and found themselves turned, or too strong and were unable to carry out the charade.
I just feel like we all want the same thing.
We use the same words, but that's all they are, words. In the end, it all comes down to freedom. We seek it, they detest it. And so there's never an end to the fight. Not until one side is completely gone.
Is that even possible?
Probably not. Our two groups have existed in one form or another since, well, since forever. But things can be better than they are. And that's something.
Really is just kind of like a normal testament to life where it's like you figure stuff out as you go, and even if things aren't looking great, you still keep trying to get something better.
Did you look for me, Dad? When I was gone?
Every day.
Come on.
I mean it. Every night I'd look, searching for your name or variations of it, hoping you'd slip up. Abstergo only found you first because they had better access. A few more days and it would have been me.
Well, I'm here now.
And I'm glad.
Do you think Lucy regretted what she was doing?
I used to think I knew her well, but clearly that wasn't the case. So I really can't give you an honest answer.
She seemed so sincere, though. Like she really wanted to make a difference.
Yes, well, when I first met him, I thought the same thing about Cross.
It just keeps happening over and over again.
What does?
Everything.
Don't get weird on me, Desmond.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. Don't worry.
All right, then. You should think about getting back in the Animus. We've got to find that key.
That's crazy, though, because I was like, I'll be honest, I do not remember them actually. I know, so I believe what that's telling me is that Lucy was a Templar, so another like double agent or whatever. But I don't know if that was ever explained in anything, or if I just happened to miss it or what, because I guess that would make a lot more sense as to why we killed her. That's why Juno was like, you have to do this.
Desmond, there you are. Can I ask a favor?
Maybe.
When this is all over, I'd like to try turning the dial back on the Animus. Like, all the way back. To the time of the first civilization.
You think it would work?
There was no real loss of fidelity when you visited Altair. Then again, that was about 1,000 years ago, and I'm looking at going back at least 70,000 more.
Sure, I'd be up for it. It'd be interesting to see what things were like back then.
Excellent. I think it would prove most enlightening. So this is how it started.
What are you up to?
Just brushing up on my American history. Well, I say history. They certainly teach you strange things in the States.
Like what?
Well, for all the talk of this being a revolutionary war, it was a civil one. Well, not that kind of civil. I mean, there was no America versus Britain. It was Brit on Brit action. And you can clearly see how the whole thing got started. One war gave birth to the other.
You mean the 7 Years' War?
Exactly. Seems the Crown overspent in its attempt to keep the French out, wound up with a great deal of debt. Believing that the colonists should help to shoulder the burden, new taxes were created. It was a reasonable request, even if Parliament was rather, well, undiplomatic about it.
Well, it's not really fair to tax people for a war they didn't want any part of.
What? Didn't want any part of? Did you not notice George Washington with Edward Braddock? He was right there in the middle of it. So here you have the Crown spending who knows how much money to secure a place for the colonists to thrive, and then, when they ask for a little bit of help... Right, look, think of it this way. King George and the colonists, they all go out to dinner, right? And when the bill comes, George asks for them to kick in and pay their share. Fair enough. But keep in mind, he's been taking them out to dinner gratis for decades now. But the colonists, oh no, they insist they only had a glass of water and a side salad. Never mind the table's full of half-eaten food and empty bottles of wine. Then when the king points this out, what do the colonists do? Oh, they flip the table over and they storm out the restaurant. Probably intending to return later and burn it down.
You left out the part where the king pointed a gun at the colonists and asked them to cover dinner for everyone in the restaurant.
Right, yeah, interesting take. If he pulled out a gun, and I'm not sure he did, it would only have been after the 100th failed attempt at getting them to pay their fair share.
But how do you define someone's fair share?
Oh, well, with a war, apparently.
Stuff like that's always funny because it's like, it's so interesting to see yet another lens of American history, especially with how like weird and biased things are.
I wonder how many other places like this exist.
There are dozens of them, all over the world.
And somehow no one's ever found one before us.
I don't think that's true.
Oh?
When I was at Abstergo, Vidic talked about silencing discoveries made by non-Templars. And I'm sure Abstergo has dug up plenty.
The things they must know.
Regretting throwing in with us?
No. Just looking forward to when we can finally trounce those bastards so I can dive into their archives. Oh, I think I found a lead on another power source.
I also think this is interesting because I was like, that is a good point. But I wonder, so maybe they're so far ahead in like the war and Abstergo has done so well because they have found more of these sites, or if because they lack a lot of the ability to actually access things, which is why they've been running the experiments on, you know, different like animus subjects. If that's why, even if they found all of these, they haven't been able to access as much of it as they would like, which would have put them way further ahead.
I'm in the middle of something very important right now. Just that's a rule. Just follow that as a rule.
Oh, yeah. Please don't just like throw yourself into the pit. I know Sean can be unbearable sometimes, but okay. And then I'm assuming if Juno is hanging out up there, that means we have a possible direction to go for putting this power source somewhere. Uh-oh, it's getting kind of hazy.
In the beginning, when we thought we could be saved, we sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it. 4 towers would be built to pull her fury into this place and dispel it. But even with all we knew, with all we had, it would take too long. 1,000 years we could labor and still the work would not be done. The first tower was never completed. The project abandoned. We moved on. But while we labored on other endeavors, a few returned. They thought to automate the process. Metal might finish what flesh could not.
Interesting. So much of this stuff is just so, like, kind of, like, so genuinely cool, though. So now we see if we can figure out where we can pull it. The power source. If they actually meant that we could do something with it. Because I'm like, I know we can kind of maneuver ourselves around over here. Hey, Juno. What's up, girl? Long time no see.
If we could not meet the sun's cruel embrace, perhaps we might rebuke it. Already we could generate fields to protect us in times of strife. But these were small and simple things. To replicate them on a scale the size of a world, we lack the energy to make it so. Half the world, they said then. It is better than none at all. We tried. Again, we failed. A quarter, they asked. Even this we could not do. A sixth, an eighth, a tenth, they cried. The answer was still the same. Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time we did not have. So we moved on.
It's like, even the gods, ran out of time and had to find themselves compromising to even possibly stick around.
Wonder what's inside.
Only one way to find out.
Okay. See, we opened ourselves up a little new place to pop into. Oh.
What is a fact? Is it fixed? Immutable? Certain in its existence and only awaiting discovery? Or might it be changed? Here we learned the answer, and thought that it might save us. They were used to command, to control, to own.
Okay. I see where this is going.
But we soon discovered another use. When enough sat in thrall and were told to believe, their thoughts took on form. What was imagined became real.
Ooh, okay.
If 100 minds could wish away a wall or create a tree, what might 1,000 do? 10,000 more? Might we
And that's
change
when it
the
backfired.
consensus and will the thread away? We resolved to send one into the sky where it might illuminate us all. Once placed, a sentence would be uttered. Make us safe. In this way, we would change the consensus. We would save the world. But it never came to be. We sent a dozen of them skyward, but there was no way to maintain control, to direct the beam, to enthrall the world, to speak the words. Though this was strange and dangerous, what we tried next was worse.
Yep. Sounds about right for all powerful beings that have control over life. Slowly but surely making things worse for themselves instead of better. It's so interesting too, because it's like, I really do wonder just what their level of power was, and then on top of that, like what it is we're actually speaking to. Because it almost gives me like museum exhibit vibes right now, But I feel like it's gotta be possibly more than that.
Our first instinct was to travel back, to change the past. But we could not find a way. But forward, we could look forward. And so here we sought to see beyond ourselves and know what was to come. First, we watched to learn if our work would succeed. But the answer was always the same. So we moved on to other things. But she remained. The one you call Minerva. In time, she too stopped looking, and instead began to speak. She called out across time, in the hopes that you might be saved. She hid messages where none might find them, save for you. and those within this place.
Fascinating.
I'm tired of it. The cryptic warnings, the threats. Just tell us what you want!
But they are.
Poor guy crashing out.
Nephilim there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. Imagine trying to explain all this to a 2-year-old, to a grasshopper. When they said the will of the gods was unknowable, they meant it. Literally.
I killed her, you know. I killed Lucy.
It was the apples, son. It was Juno.
I saw what she was. What would happen if I let her live? I could have stopped myself. I mean, there was a force there. But I didn't have to. I chose to.
Didn't really felt like I chose to.
Lucy was going to betray us and take the apple back to Abstergo. I saw the satellite launched. I saw them turn it on, and then it failed. Whatever's on the other side of that door, it benefits Juno. We need to be careful.
That's also an interesting thought too. So it's like that implies that if they can look that far in the future and like communicate with the future, does that mean that something that we're doing here could possibly like either revert time? So like they've been dead and gone for so long, but since they can reach so far in the future, they have the time to influence it, and like this could retroactively undo everything, or could, you know, result in the extinction of humanity itself? Like, what if that's the overall, you know, goal? Because they tried to enthrall humans once, so what would stop them from doing it again if it saved them, even if they had to die to wait for it? I don't know. Obviously, just kind of guessing over here. But I think it's likely. I think there is a chance that there could be... Oh. There could just be something more than what we're being told about. And if so, I mean, honestly, that would be, like, kind of sick. I don't know if it's something that I'm, like, possibly overhyping myself on and whatnot, but I was like, I think theorizing in games like this is fun because you never really know what the vibe is until you actually get to see it. So it's like, I could be really, really far off, I could be on the right track, and I just won't know until we get something. Okay, that's where our second power source goes, so I think we are at a end there right now. So go ahead and jump on in. And to end the episode, we're gonna read some emails. Let's see. Okay. So far, so good. Hey there, Desmond. As you'll see from the date of this email, you've been in the Animus for a few days now, but don't worry. I've been staying on top of your vitals, not even a blip. So it looks like extending the sessions won't be a problem. Whatever happened between you and 16 seems to increase your tolerance. Animus keeps you in a resting state, which takes care of fatigue, and your memories are vivid enough we're actually seeing micro-movement in your muscles, which means no atrophy issues either. Still, we'll be bringing you out for breaks just to stay on the safe side. Ugh. Sean is really getting on my nerves. You'd think with everything going on he'd stop being such a douche. Maybe he thinks it's funny, or maybe it's part of his snarky British charm. Or maybe it's just how he deals with stress. Whatever it is, it's getting old real fast. We've got enough to worry about, you know, end of the world and everything. You'd think he'd show a little restraint and maturity or something. Sorry, not like you need to hear me venting. You've got enough on your plate. Please don't say anything to him, though. Disappointed. Ah, thanks, Dad. In case you haven't noticed, we're knee-deep in the shit here. I understand this might not be your idea of a good time. It isn't anyone's idea of a good time. Picking fights isn't going to get our work finished any faster, so I suggest you stick to the mission. The sooner we're through the door, the sooner we get back to our lives, or in your case, the lack of one. Dad. Damn. Really just full on called me out. Your father. William's not the most diplomatic man, I'll give you that, but he cares about you very much. When you were under, during the whole bit with 16, he never left your side. He even slept in the same room when we put down for the night. Anyway, don't mean to be a busybody, just didn't want you to stay sore with him. Not too sore anyway. The man means well, even if he's got an odd way of showing it. New database entries. Just a quick heads up, I've pushed in a new batch of entries focused on, in order to ensure accuracy, I actually turned to a friend on the outside. Don't worry, he thinks it's for a presentation, so we're in no danger of being discovered. You'll find a new section of the database labeled Surprise Surprise. That one. It has information on their political and social structures, as well as some notes about their material culture. Interesting. The sphere used by Connor during his spirit journey is clearly first civilization in origin. It appears to function as some sort of temporal calculator. It's essentially a crystal ball, but one that actually works. This can't be coincidental, which begs the question, are there others out there? Ah, hello. A lot of noise. We got... I should just take the time to see if it actually means anything in binary, if it's just that. It works, I should hardly be surprised. Electrical impulses move from one path to another. You call them networks. Our world for them was more akin to road. Wow. Oh, because there's no punctuation. That's why my brain's like, what's going on? It works. I should hardly be surprised electrical impulses move from one pathway to another. You call them networks. Our word for them was more akin to a road. It is yet difficult to project a thought from one medium to another, and yet it works. It works. It works. Hatham's Blades. I've been doing some digging on Hatham's Blades, still not sure where they came from. My initial instinct is he started out as an assassin. I believe his father was one, in fact. It appears he was a Templar from pretty early on. Maybe he took them from someone? It's happened before. And they're quite handy. I'm surprised more Templars haven't put them to use. Pretty easy to build a pair if you know what you're doing. Improvements. I have found a new way to better control the impulses, to formulate a thought and transmit it, to add a sense of structure, a sense of order. You fear order. You're kind. The gentle hand tends the flock. It is a kindness, not a cruelty. I wonder, will you ever understand? Your enemies do in their own way, but they share your base heritage. Their concept is flawed. They are not worthy. You have all proved unworthy of our gifts. Juno. Looks like Juno has really taken a shine to you. I suggest you don't engage her. There isn't time to go down that rabbit hole. It's sure to prove a badger's den. Besides, all experience is... Actually, that final door. Salvation, was it? But for us, who knows? Here we sit, working towards something we know next to nothing about, but it's our only chance, so there's that, I suppose. Johnny things, leave him alone. It's a forward from... Ah. You should not meddle in affairs that do not concern you. Well, somebody doesn't like me. All these Juno visits and emails too, apparently, have got me thinking, what happened to Nia and Minerva? They're the ones who invited us to this little apocalypse party, and now they're gone now they've gone and buggered off. A little inconvenient, not to mention rude. I'll try and poke around later, see if there's not some sign of what happened to them. Okay. Alright, that was a lot to kind of take in, but honestly, I think that's super interesting. I think there's a lot of really cool things working in the background, and we're slowly but surely getting our way to our goal of figuring out how to save the world, so... On that note, I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that fun jazz, and I will see you in the next one.